Well, welcome everybody. We're going to get started right on time because we have a full evening, a full hour of events this evening. And so first, I just wanted to say welcome to everybody, Arizona School of Health Sciences, faculty, staff, and also ATSU leadership, and all of our guests that are here this evening. This has been quite a year. And I wanted to just start off by saying thank you to the Arizona School of Health Sciences faculty and staff for really rising to the occasion and the challenge of COVID-19 over the past 10 months. And it's really been remarkable to see people with their tenaciousness and their collaborative determination really come together. And none of us could have done that alone. It was really a spirit of teamwork. And I know I've told you thank you before, but I want to say thank you again. And also thank you to leadership who is here tonight, the president of the university, Dr. Craig Phelps, and also Dr. Gevitz and Dr. Wendell. I think that at some point during the last 10 months, I think I've been emailing Dr. Wendell probably about every day, just figuring out what we should do in terms of lab essential classes, etc. So it has been a challenging year, but this evening is not just about the last 10 months, of course. This evening is about the last 25 years of the Arizona School of Health Sciences. And for 25 years, the school has been living the mission of the university, one of whole person healthcare, serving the underserved, diversity and inclusion, excellence in teaching and service and research, and above all, community. And it's that we are proud of, and we're here to kind of share our memories and share our pride tonight. And with the 2020 graduation, we now have over 10,000 ASHS alumni all over the country, and in some cases throughout the world, really making a difference in the lives of others and in our communities for a healthier tomorrow. And so I couldn't be more proud to be the dean of the school and just to be part of the community of the school and also the university. So I want to get started, but first I want to let you know that tonight is also serving as a fundraiser. We're trying something new, a day and an evening of fundraising. So if you look in your chat, there's a link that you can click on, and Advancement has worked closely to develop a landing page where it will take you right there, and you can give back to ASHS, either through providing PPE for our students or through internet access for our students, for faculty research, for some of our patient centers. So if you are able, I want to thank you in advance for that. And one other mention that I want to say is that we have in presence tonight our Vice Dean of the Arizona School of Health Sciences, Dr. Marlene Salas-Provence. And although she won't be speaking this evening, she started with us right in January and quickly became an integral part of the school. She's been championing a new speech language pathology program proposal that's not fully approved yet. And we're just delighted to have her part of the team. So without further ado, and so we can stay on schedule, I would like to thank and welcome President Phelps for joining us this evening and turn it over to him as he says some words.
Dr. Birch, thank you. And thank you for your wonderful leadership. Dr. Providence, thank you for your great leadership. Current and former faculty and staff, thank you. I saw some names roll across there. I saw Jackie Kingma, Dr. Kingma, and so I'm sure we'll have many more this evening, but great memories. In fact, we'll have to have another evening to come back and share fun stories of all the great times that we had with our students and our faculty and staff. But thank you for all you do. You are the heartbeat. You're what makes ASHS and ATSU the great place it is to teach and learn. And our graduates and students, thank you. It's almost impossible to go anywhere in the state of Arizona and almost impossible to go anywhere in the country without running into some of our ASHS alumni. And we love it. My mom had a bout in the hospital about a year ago, and just about every physician who visited had an ASHS connection and had everybody from physical therapy to occupational therapy to the different specialists she saw linked back to ASHS and the training of our students and education of our students. And so your effect is great, and it's been magnified throughout the pandemic. And everything that you've done and the work that you do, we're very, very proud of our graduates. And congratulations on behalf of our Board of Trustees and all the other schools within the university. 25 years is pretty amazing. I will say it did go very, very, very quickly. I hope the next 25 years don't go as fast, but I probably won't be around for that one. But I know it'll be another 25 years of great work and opportunity by our faculty, staff, and continued growth of our alumni. Want to thank Dr. Hoffa, who's currently on our Board of Trustees and an ASHS graduate ×2, and also make sure I give a shout out to Dr. Gary Cloud, who was instrumental in the beginning of ATSU University ASHS programs, as you'll hear this evening, along with many of the founding faculty and staff that are joining us tonight. Just a wonderful evening to share and say thank you. Dr. Danielson will be giving a great look back at the history of ASHS. And then, of course, Dr. Wendell and Dr. Gevitz will give you some updates and congratulations along the way. And then we're going to hear from the wonderful current chairs of the different programs. So you'll get an update of what's going on. A little bit about ATSU, as Dr. Birch said, COVID-19 has proven to be a great challenge, but with great institutions, great challenges mean that we just get better. And for those out there working in healthcare organizations, you know what we're talking about. You've had to rise to a challenge, adapt, innovate, and do some things that were probably things that you never thought you'd have to do. Certainly, I didn't anticipate living through a pandemic of this magnitude. But I will say that my education at ATSU University and my work with our faculty, staff, students, and graduates prepared me well for the pandemic. And so thank you once again for out there battling on a day-to-day basis in the front lines. Currently, we have 6 schools at ATSU University, 6 schools or colleges, 16 doctoral programs, 11 master's programs, 16 certificate programs, 3,681 unique students. Pretty amazing. And once again, as mentioned, we have over 32,580 graduates. About a third of those, a little less than a third of those, are from ASHS. And currently we have 1,443 employees, 900 full-time FTEs, of course, a total of 1,443. So we've really grown since some of you started with us on the Grand Canyon campus in Phoenix, Arizona. We have locations, of course, in Kirksville, Mesa, St. Louis. We have a dental center in St. Louis. And then Santa Maria, California is our newest location. We're currently working with our students in California, some of our medical students, and some of our PA students on rotations and dental students, and a number of alumni who've settled in that Central Coast Santa Maria area. So we're excited about our 4th official location for the university. And you'll be happy to know that all the accreditation at the university remains at the highest level. And this helps ensure that your degree is of great value. And as you go and you continue on in your professional careers, and for those that are students watching tonight, it's that work of our great alumni, our great graduates, who were able to reflect back on and build the value and brand of ATSU University and the value of your degree from the Arizona School of Health Sciences. So what a great night. Congratulations on 25 years. Looking forward to the celebration. And thank you, faculty, staff. Thank you, students. Thank you, graduates, for all you do on a daily basis.
Thank you so much, President Phelps. I'd like to now introduce Dr. Gevitz, Dr. Norman Gevitz, Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs, who would like to say a few words about ASHS.
Thank you, Annalee. I'm truly happy to help celebrate the silver anniversary of the Arizona School of Health Sciences. Over the course of the past 7 years, I've had the opportunity and pleasure to speak at several of your white coat ceremonies and graduations, recounting the history of your respective health professions, how they have been born out of necessity, how the practitioners produced have addressed the needs of impaired populations, particularly the vulnerable, whether young and old, and contributed to overall well-being of the American people. ASHS produces highly educated, qualified, and compassionate practitioners, and ASHS is essential to our carrying out of ATSU's mission. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gevitz. And now we're going to hear from Dr. Ted Wendels, Senior Vice President of University Planning and Strategic Initiatives. Ted.
I'm really happy and proud to be here tonight. It's sad that it's a virtual event because of COVID. I see so many people that I want to hug and spend some time with. I hope we get to do that in the near future. I also can't find the hors d'oeuvre tray, and that's a little disappointing, but our alumni have been incredibly successful. And one of our goals as we started ASHS 25 years ago was to be recognized as providing care for underserved communities. And we've certainly gotten to that point. Our alumni care for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people over the last 25 years. And that's an accomplishment that we all should be very proud of. I think back 25 years, and it's hard to believe that it's been that long. And then I look in the mirror and realize that it probably is. And I look at the people that I call my colleagues, Dr. Gevitz, Dr. Danielson, Dr. Simon, and it's perfectly obvious that it's been 25 years. The reality can't be denied. It's been an incredible number of years, and it's such an important part of my life. I've got so many memories of events and people. I think back to the days when we handed out what became known as the Barbie computers of all different colors, and we waited for 3 months for them to arrive, and how joyous we were when they finally got there. I think about a computer network that was made up of 8 256K modems clicking and clacking away in a closet. I think about the weekend where we moved from Grand Canyon University to Mesa, Arizona, and putting, I guess it's okay to admit now, putting 8 cadavers in the back of a U-Haul truck and driving across town, hoping not to get stopped and having to explain why I had 8 cadavers in the back of the truck. But mostly I think about the people, the students, the faculty, the staff, and their families, and the people that we've watched grow up and mature. And that means so much to me. And as I said when I started this, I'm really proud to be part of the ASHS family. And if you notice, I have my ASHS shirt. And as I was looking for that today, I discovered that I've got quite a collection. So after the event, I'll be holding an eBay auction for some retro ASH garments. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wendell. Okay, so the next section of our evening, we're going to be hearing from Dr. Randy Danielson, who you all know was our past dean and has been the dean for the bulk of the history of the school. So he was an obvious choice to kind of take us down memory lane and talk about some milestones in history of the school. So we'll hear from Dr. Danielson next. Dr. Danielson is now the program director of the Doctor of Medical Sciences program within the Physician Assistant Studies department, and he's also the director of the Center for Health Professions for the university. So, Randy.
Well, thank you, Dean Birch, for the opportunity to share a few words with all of you today. I was asked briefly to share some milestones for ASHS. A milestone is defined as an action or event marking a significant change or stage in development Well, we've had a lot of those in the past 25 years. For instance, in the fall of 1994, a small group of educators got together to discuss the creation of 4 health professions programs, PA, PT, OT, and what we called at that time, sports healthcare. These innovative folks included Dr. Lynn Walker, Associate Dean, Mr. Rick Davis, PA Program Director, Dr. Gary Delforge, Director of the Sports Healthcare, Dr. Janet Jedlicka, Director of OT, and Ms. Suzanne Brown, Director of PT, and many others. I could spend a couple of hours giving you names of those folks who really made a difference in the early years of this institution, and some of them are on the line now. So thank you for joining us. Or you know who you are. I wish I could name all of you. Well, I was hired in March of 1995, and my first day of work was in this dilapidated strip mall at 35th Avenue in Camelback, just next to the China Wall restaurant on the west side of Phoenix. We had no students, no building, no infrastructure, no curricula, but we had a lot of enthusiasm. And as many of you know, this was initially created as a branch of KCOM called the, wait for this, Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine Southwest Center for Osteopathic Medical Education. Anyway, it was hard to put on a business card or a shirt. Our building was completed that summer on the campus of Grand Canyon University, and an open house was held in August of 1995, and we were off and running. From the very beginning, it was KCOM's philosophy to hire the best and the brightest educators in the country for the 4 programs initiation. Ironically, all the students who enrolled in the fall of 1995 signed a letter stating that they knew we were not fully accredited yet. Those inaugural students trusted us to create quality programs and attain ongoing accreditation. We did not let them down. We had our first graduation in August of 1997, PA and sports healthcare at ASU West. In fact, those diplomas bear the name of KCOM Southwest Center. It was noted at that time at that graduation, for those of you that were there was a lot of hugging going on during that graduation. I'm really happy to see that that has not changed over all these years. In 1998, we became our own school, the Arizona School of Health Sciences. In 99 and 2000, as Dr. Wendell mentioned, we made the trek across the valley to Wrecker Road in Baseline in Mesa, Arizona. Let me just note that I was not in that vehicle with Dr. Wendell, in case anybody wants to know. Our new campus, over 50 acres in a state-of-the-art educational building, we wondered at that time what we would do with all that space. Well, little did we know. We also added the audiology program as our 5th discipline. And as the programs got more prominent and the need arose, we started creating post-professional programs in each of the disciplines. I'll leave it to the department chairs to share more information with you about that. But in closing, the most important milestones for ASHS in my mind fall into 3 categories. Number 1, we recruited, and we still do, the best students for our educational programs at a time of enormous need. Number 2, we hired, and always do, the best faculty and staff to meet the needs of the students and the accreditation standards. And number 3, we continue to produce some of the best alumni in the country. They continue to carry on the osteopathic tenets promulgated by Dr. Still, and they continue to make a difference in healthcare in this country and around the world. Well, as Loretta Lynn said in a great country song, and I won't sing it, we have come a long way, baby. I have no doubt, given our current leadership, that will only get better in the next 25 years. Special thanks to Dr. Phelps, Dr. Gevis, Dr. Wendell, Dr. Cloud, and many others for their leadership over the years. And thank you so much for the opportunity of being part of this great school. Onward and onward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Danielson. All right, so now we are moving into a section that I'm excited about. The IT department, Dean Mag and Draylon Vang, have worked hard to create a video featuring many of you. So thank you for volunteering. And it takes us from the early years up until this last year with our clinical directors explaining some of the challenges of COVID-19. So you can just sit back right now, and Dean Mag is going to click on the video and we'll enjoy it together.
So I started at ATSU in August of 1995. I started 1 week before the first students came on campus here in Arizona. So I actually interviewed for my position earlier that spring and was sitting in the same waiting room as students who were there interviewing to be in the first inaugural class here. You know, it's hard to put it down to a certain accomplishment, but I'd say the thing that I'm most proud about of being part of ATSU is to think about the number of graduates that we've produced. You know, I'm in physical therapy, and so, you know, we have over 1,200 physical therapy alumni who have come through this program. And so when you feel like making an influence on the profession, it's pretty incredible to think about our students out there in those kind of numbers.
My journey began with the ATSU University early in 1995 on the campus of Grand Canyon University. At that time, we actually were a branch of KCOM and started the first PA, PT, OT sports healthcare program on that campus. And then we became the Arizona School of Health Sciences a couple of years later. Two of the greatest accomplishments that we made in the early days, number one was the development of some new what we called allied health programs in those days, PA, PT, OT, sports healthcare. So, you know, that was a huge need in Arizona at the time. So that was a major accomplishment. The second one was when we moved out to the new campus in 1999 and 2000, and it really built the Arizona School of Health Science, adding another program, the audiology program. And so the development of those programs were certainly some of the best things that I think we did.
So my journey with Arizona School of Health Sciences and ATSU began just over 21 years ago in July of 1999. It was a time in audiology that was sort of unique because the master's level programs were starting to transition to doctor of audiology programs for the first AUD degrees to be offered. And I came to Arizona School of Health Sciences, and we started the first transitional or post-professional doctor of audiology program that was fully online within ASHS, which was at that time the only school in Arizona that was a part of Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine. It was before we had this campus, and it was before we had any of the other colleges or schools that have since become part of ATSU University.
My journey began with ATSU ASHS back in 1995 when I was actually a student in the first class of the athletic training program. It was then called the Sports Healthcare Program, and it was one of the 4 original programs at the institution back when we were on Grand Canyon University's campus. I would say the accomplishment that I'm the most proud of during my tenure here at ATSU has been the ability to recruit and retain such an outstanding faculty. The faculty that we have here within the Arizona School of Health Sciences are incredibly hardworking, innovative. They're all experts in their field, but they're very humble. And the opportunity to work with them every day and know the kind of support that they provide to the students and the kind of student-centered education that they support. I think that's what I'm most proud of during the 20 years that I've been here as a faculty member at ATSU.
I started working here in 1996, so it's been 24 years. I'm on the physical therapy faculty, and I'd say the first accomplishment was establishing our neurologic physical therapy residency program and obtaining accreditation for that in 2015.
So I have been at AT Still since 2002 doing sport concussion research. Back in 2009, we received a grant from the National Operating Committee on Standards for Athletic Equipment to study health-related quality of life in adolescent athletes following concussion. And that was my first large grant and kind of put us on the road to investigate the effects of concussion, not only on return to sport, but on all aspects of the adolescent's life, including return to school and their perceived impact of concussion on quality of life.
There are little bits, because that's how research is, these little bits of moments where you think, oh, this is a surprising result. The drumming was actually from a Parkinson's retreat that we were doing, and this whole body drumming, people loved it. They just loved it. So I thought this would be an interesting thing to study, and looking at how the music interacts with kind of the drive to really get bigger movements. So again, we're in the process of doing that study, so we don't have the results yet. And with the hippotherapy study, the aha moment really came, I thought for sure people would have already looked at this, because hippotherapy has been used, meaning riding on a horse, that's been used in people with cerebral palsy and multiple sclerosis, but nobody's really published it in using it with Parkinson's. So that was an aha moment of, well, this seems like kind of a no-brainer to look at, looking at axial stiffness, what we call axial rigidity, in people with Parkinson's. So again, we don't have the results yet, but those were a couple of aha moments.
Occupational therapy graduates make a difference in the lives of their patients as they help gain functional independence in everyday activities and occupations. Our graduates work across the lifespan in a variety of settings, though primarily in healthcare and education systems. They address not only physical impairments, but also emotional, behavioral, and mental health issues. And by doing so, they enhance the quality of life and well-being, regardless of the presence of chronic disease, injury, or illness. Our graduate capstone also allows our students to explore emerging roles in population health and entry into systems where occupational therapists are not working at present.
PA training has always been innovative and on the forefront, and AT Still University has proven to have innovative education. And so together we are moving forward with training that provides our graduates with both high-level quality healthcare education, as well as learning in innovative ways. Unfortunately, with the COVID pandemic, one of the things that we've noticed is we've had to completely rearrange how we have been teaching, moving to an online environment and attempting to maintain creativity in that environment. We've proven that we can step up to that challenge. In fact, we've learned a number of things from the pandemic and how we move forward. So in the next 5 years, as this pandemic ceases and we move forward, I believe that we are going to continue to have innovative educational practices, including hybrid online learning, learning from more hands-on simulated clinical skills, doing more hands-on education in the community and learning out in our rural underserved communities to continue to provide high-level education that AT Still is known for.
We have graduates all over the nation who are providing excellent care to the people in their communities. And I'm going to highlight a couple of specific areas and a couple of our graduates just kind of as examples. We have a graduate from one of our very first classes who works at the Huhucam Memorial Hospital with the Gila River Indian community. And he's worked there since he graduated. And again, he was part of one of those first classes. So that's been almost 20 plus years. And I think one of the really great things and cool things about what he's done is that not only has he worked there for a really long time, but he consistently took students in his clinic, and he's recruited a lot of those ATSU grads to work there as well. And I know at one point, the only physical therapy services provided at HuHuCon were provided by ATSU grads. So I just think that that's really, really cool that he's really found a way to give back to that particular community.
I would have to say my most memorable moment would be working with a student who had brain cancer, and he was in remission, and during his clinical year, his cancer returned. And we all, as a family, rallied around him to make sure he was successful. And watching him graduate was probably my most memorable moment.
As everyone probably knows, this last year has been extremely challenging because of the pandemic. And from a clinical perspective, so many of our clinicians were caught off guard. They didn't know how to manage their own practice, let alone invite students into the practice for that experiential learning component of the piece.
It definitely was a challenge. You know, like I said, we were just coming off the cusp of spring break, and I had a few more days before I was to come back, and got a call that morning that one of the hospitals in California that our students work with was not able to take students anymore. So we had 5 students displaced automatically. And within the next week, we had every single hospital except one tell us they could no longer accept students. And so the challenge, of course, was rearranging where those students were going to be. Some of them had to actually move back to Arizona. Many of them were financially impacted, obviously emotionally impacted. Everybody was scared. Nobody knew, you know, what this really was or how it was going to affect them. And I think the proudest thing was how well everybody just came together.
Our biggest challenge after COVID was a lot of our fieldwork placements were being canceled in March. But the most gratifying thing for me was that after students were placed and canceled and replaced, the best thing for me was when students got jobs where they were placed for fieldwork in the end.
I was going to say, I think we faced a lot of similar challenges where clinical education was concerned. And really, with every challenge, successes can come out, and people are just amazing when they need to be. Our team in the physical therapy program with Dr. Ellison and Missy Johnson, it all was a beautiful working group to be able to succeed in the challenges that were there. But I think most amazingly was our clinical education sites and our clinical education community, and really a ton of people stepping up to the plate, knowing they just wanted to do whatever they could for the students.
And other memorable moments were that faculty became my friends, and they were there for my success at the program at all times, and they have continued to be my mentors to this day.
It has been very interesting reading through and appraising the research that is currently available and seeing almost all of my professors' names published on all of these articles.
My journey with the AUD was amazing. I have to say that it probably changed my life for the better. I'm very grateful I got into the program. I think it improves so many aspects of your life. There's not a moment that I can totally pinpoint, but I'm going to say that the overall program, the choice of course is really meant to improve yourself professionally, but it does also impact you personally. I think I'm a better person. I think differently about a lot of things. And yep, it's all because of the program.
The most memorable moments, I think any opportunity that I had to collaborate with other students from different programs. So there were a few clubs that I was a part of or volunteer opportunities that I had where I got to meet people from other programs like occupational therapy, DO, PA, AT, audiology, everybody, dental. And I think that what made being a student memorable here was being able to collaborate
and make friends and meet mentors. So there were a couple events that I really liked. There was one, Corbin's Legacy, that's held here, where we get to work with everybody from the different programs. And some of my best friends from all other programs, from being here as a student, I made when I was volunteering there.
Some of my most memorable moments here have been one of our biggest events, which we call Ear Day, Education and Recreation Day. And that's where we provide children who have hearing loss with activities and the ability to learn more about their hearing loss and the opportunity to meet other kids who may have a hearing loss. And then while they're playing games and doing all that fun stuff, their parents are sitting in on pediatricians, listening to pediatric audiologists, et cetera, and just gaining a lot more resources around the area. And another moment that has been memorable for me is working with the athletic trainers. So we had a lunch and learn with them where we talked about concussion and learned more about what they do, and they learned a lot about what we did.
Before getting here, it probably for 3 or 4 years, I wasn't sure if I was going to get into school. I wasn't sure where I was going to be. And so this university has really given me to pursue my passion and really help people and, you know, give me the tools to get to where I want to be in the future and who I want to be as a professional and a future healthcare provider. And that involves, you know, not only treating the musculoskeletal, treating the body, but also treating the person as a whole and treating the mind. So incorporating that into the program, I couldn't be more grateful to be in this university and in the position I'm in right now.
Well, thank you again, Dean Mag and Draylon Vang, for putting that video together for us. And thank you, faculty and staff and students and alumni, for participating in it, giving us a picture of the school as a whole. We can never capture it, but gives you some nice illustrations. So we are now going to move into the next section of the hour. And this is really the section we talked about, the early years and the history and the past. And now we're going to talk about the present and moving into the future. And there's not any better people to do that than our department chairs within our school, who work tirelessly to continue to innovate, to continue to lead their departments, to work closely with me. And they have some exciting things to share with you. So we are going to start with Dr. Eric Sowers, who you all know, but if you don't, is the chair of the Interdisciplinary Health Sciences Department, which consists of both athletic training programs, the post-professional masters, and also the DAT. Eric.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Birch. My department is comprised of 2 academic degree programs in athletic training, our residential Master of Science in Athletic Training program, one of the 4 original programs within ASHS, started back in 1995, and our online Doctor of Athletic Training program. The department also houses 2 service units that support students and faculty across the school, our Biostatistics and Clinical Research Unit and our Clinical Anatomy Unit. Since 1995, the athletic training program has graduated 266 alumni working in various athletic training settings, including the head athletic trainer of the 2020 world champion Los Angeles Lakers. Since its inception in 2015, the DAT program has graduated 85 students and currently has 89 students enrolled, and is a nationally recognized innovative program that aims to develop leaders in the athletic training profession. The athletic training program's faculty have displayed outstanding longevity with an average faculty tenure at ATSU of over 12 years. And the collective faculty have remained productive scholars with over 250 unique manuscript publications, 400 unique abstracts, over 550 invited presentations, and nearly $2 million in grant funding. Our Biostatistics and Clinical Research Unit consists of 2 tenured full professors who support faculty and student research endeavors from all programs and departments, 1 biostatistician and 1 clinical research. Faculty routinely meet with faculty across the school to assist them in formulating and carrying out their scholarly work. In addition to regular teaching assignments for research methodology and statistics, the faculty provide ad hoc didactic sessions, and they lead discussion groups on specific facets of research and statistics of interest to faculty and student groups. They also routinely consult for journal clubs. In truth, our school, I believe, has the most sophisticated and extensive biostatistics and clinical research faculty of any within the university, and our faculty success in research and scholarship is exponentially enhanced by the support and expertise provided by these faculty. Our clinical anatomy unit consists of 3 highly dedicated full-time faculty members to teach our core clinical anatomy courses. Recently, these innovative faculty have integrated team-based learning to engage students and promote clinical application of anatomy. This is also the topic of their educational research agenda. Additionally, they have developed a robust dissection and teaching assistant program with approximately 30 students who have completed the anatomy course that provides an advanced anatomy experience in hands-on dissection and peer-to-peer tutoring. I will add they've also done extraordinary work this year to modify their curricular content in response to the COVID-19 pandemic by offering our anatomy courses completely online. All of our faculty have worked hard to pivot in the face of the pandemic, and I can't thank them enough for their flexibility and hard work. It's really an honor and privilege every day to work with these amazing people, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sowers. We're going to move now to Dr. Tabitha Parent-Buck, Chair of the Audiology Department. Dr. Buck.
Thank you very much. So 25 years ago seems very far away when we had our bold beginnings to where we are now. My background on my image here is actually the groundbreaking for our campus here in Mesa over 20 years ago. You can see Dr. Wendell there and myself, and you definitely can tell it was 20 some years ago because we've changed a little bit. I know we have great potential for continuing our quality ASHS programs and continuing to grow over the next 25 years. We've seen growth within all of our disciplines within ASHS, changes within the professions that have affected the degrees that we offer, and the types of programs that we are developing to encompass the full career journey of so many health professions. In audiology, we went from having first the online post-professional program to then adding our residential program in 2002. Our post-professional program now has a global focus, thanks to the current director, Dr. Andrea Ruotolo. And we have actually a growing non-degree seeking division within that program for audiologists who are looking for continuing education. We are also in the process of broadening our department to become the Department of Audiology and Speech Language Pathology to add a master's degree program in SLP very soon. During our years of growing, we also added the first ATSU clinic within ASHS by opening the AFA Balance and Hearing Institute, which has helped us to expand the clinical experiences that our students have from a clinical entity that we have more control and input over. During our years of growing, we've also we added the AFA Institute, which I said. And I just wanted to say that my joy in working within ASHS for the last 21 years is not just about getting the job done every day. It is about the great people that I have learned so much from over the years and the interactions I've had with our wonderful next generation of audiologists, as well as other health profession students. It has been an amazing place to work for the last 21 years, and to grow as a professional, an academic, a neuroanatomy nerd, and a glutton for punishment when it comes to assessment committees. So cheers to our 25 years.
Thank you so much, Dr. Parent-Buck. And now we're going to move to Occupational Therapy Chair, Dr. Jyoti Gupta.
The Arizona School of Health Sciences OT department was the first in the state of Arizona, and we offered a very robust and rigorous curriculum for entry-level master's students. So I came to the department as a chair in 2016, and building on the past success of the original curriculum, we now offer 2 robust programs at the entry level, at the master's as well as the doctoral level. We graduate about, each cohort has about 60 students. So from 2016, having 2 degree options, we have doubled the number of students per cohort. We have very well-trained faculty who come from very diverse backgrounds. And in the immediate future for the department, now that we have gone through both 2 successful accreditations, we have the bandwidth to think in terms of future planning. And the future planning includes developing much needed residencies in occupational therapy, modeling after the PT residency program. We have very few in the country. So I'd like to offer residency programming, as well as certificate programming and pre-launching of a post-professional therapy doctorate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gupta. Okay, and now we're going to move to Dr. Lori Bordnev, Interim Chair of the Physical Therapy Department. Dr. Bordnev.
Hi, everyone. Well, I think as several people have mentioned, 25 years do go by really fast. I was fortunate enough to be one of the original faculty in the physical therapy program. I was actually the director of clinical education. And so it's really exciting to still be here and see all of the wonderful changes that have continued at the school level and also at the program level. So I just want to say a couple of things about where we are and what we're doing right now. We continue to have growth and changes in the program. We have 2 residencies now, an orthopedic residency, and Dr. Sherry Hodges, who is the founding director of that program, just stepped down this year. And Dr. Corey Manton has taken the mantle as the new director. We've had, over the last 2 years, 12 people who've completed that program and 25 over the entire life of the program who've passed their specialty exam as a result of being part of the residency. We also have our wonderful neuro residency. Dr. Cecilia Glittenberg is the director of that program. And we've had 10 who've passed the specialty exam in that program since it began. Dr. Danielson mentioned that we would talk about the post-professional programs, and we also have a post-professional program. When the program PT started, we were at the master's level, and we also underwent a transition to doctoral level education. And as a result, we started a post-professional program for practicing professionals to get their transitional doctoral degree. And that program continues under the amazing leadership of Dr. Tammy Rowling. And I think the big thing that's coming up in that program is that they're beginning to expand internationally. So that's really exciting. The residential program continues to accept 62 students every year. We just implemented a new curriculum 3 years ago and have seen big changes and improvements in our students' pass rates on the National Physical Therapy exam. So we're really excited about that. I think the big change that's happened on campus was the opening of the ATSU Center for Occupational and Physical Therapy, which opened in July 2019. And this really allows both the physical and occupational therapy programs to serve, to demonstrate that commitment to serve in the underserved. We have, since opening, we've had over 1,500 student encounters in the center. Unfortunately, we had to close because of COVID-19. So we did that in March, but we're very excited because we were able to reopen in November, and will again, once students come back on campus, reopen again in January and begin providing services there. And that we really owe a great deal of gratitude and to Dr. Jim Ferris, who really pushed to have the OTPT clinic open up last year. So those are some of the big things that are happening in physical therapy. And the last thing I want to say is that we had, it's also the centennial year for physical therapy. We're celebrating 100 years of the American Physical Therapy Association this year. So 25 for ATSU or ASHS and 100 for the APTA. And I wanted to note that we have one student who's going to be serving as a Centennial Scholar this year, and some leadership development. So Taylor Davis is going to be representing ATSU as a Centennial Scholar to celebrate not just our 25th anniversary of ASHS, but also the 100th of APTA.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bordnev. And now last but not least, Dr. Michelle DeBase, Chair of the Physician Assistant Studies Department. Dr. DeBase.
Thanks, Dr. Birch. I'm very excited to be able to give you the highlights for the PA department. I've been in this position as chair and program director for the residential entry PA program. Again, one of the original 4 programs with ASHS since just for the last year and a half. Although I have been involved with AT still since I moved to the Valley nearly 16 years ago now. I'm starting out as adjunct faculty. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the 2 who sat in this position before me and are still in our department, Dr. Bert Simon, who's the director for the advanced PA program, as well as the associate director for the DMSC program, and Dr. Randy Danielson, who's the program director at DMSC. We've had quite a number of successes this year despite COVID. First, I have to highlight our faculty and staff have been phenomenal, stepping up and pivoting to get everything online, to keep our students on rotations, and to graduate our students on time. Only 14 were delayed by basically 1 rotation. So it was a phenomenal team effort to pull that off, and we continue to move forward despite the pandemic. Our team moved together to get 2 large HRSA grants for the university. For our department, we had $4.5 million in HRSA grants. One that goes to scholarships for disadvantaged students, that it allows students to have a $30,000 scholarship a year and can be renewed each year when they reapply. And we also have the primary care training grant that is focused on improving behavioral health expansion, including medication-assisted therapy training. So all our students graduate with the ability to become MAT waivered to combat the opioid crisis in our country right now. It also provides money to have an expansion of our community health center sites. We were also allowed to hire a new clinical coordinator, and we're very excited to have her on board. It also expands our concept of the Hometown Scholar Program into another side program called the Program to Practice, or P2P program. And that is where we are working with institutions near our community health center partners to try and pipeline students into our university earlier by doing education and explaining the outreach of AT Still. And I should highlight that while we don't have 2020 numbers in 2019, while we had 7 hometown scholars that all took jobs in their home community, we also had 10 additional students who signed with federally qualified health centers in rural communities upon graduation. And we're looking forward to our 2020 numbers. I also need to highlight Annette Bettridge received a NIDA grant, that's the National Institute on Drug Abuse, to work on her grant, Stamp Out Stigma, Destigmatizing Substance Use Disorders. And also I want to highlight 2 faculty who were recognized nationally, Kim DeVore, who was given the award by our PA Education Association on the Clinical Educator of the Year Award, and also Dr. Ray Pavlik, who was recognized by the Osmosis Raise the Line Faculty Award from national nominees. Overall, we've been doing a great job, and we look forward to moving forward with our goals. We're looking to expand the size of our class by increasing the class size to 90 to 100 by 2024. And so we've been working on increasing the number of community health center partners that we are sending our students on for rotations. And we're also investigating a gap year master's program that will help strengthen applicants as they're coming in, providing them with some prerequisites and also strengthening their GPA as a pipeline tool to apply to our program. Our DMSC program is very successful. We'll be graduating our first set of graduates coming up here in the next year, and we look forward to continued success and expansion of that program. So I want to thank again all my faculty and staff, and Dr. Danielson, Dr. Simon, and Dr. Birch for all the mentoring I've received in this past year and a half.
Thank you so much, Dr. DeBase. So I think that everyone in the room can see the energy and the enthusiasm and just the productivity that comes from this group. And I want to say it again, just the teamwork throughout this last year. And you can see how it's been pushing itself forward for the past 25 years. So I was thinking of some words like chutzpah and mojo and trying to figure out some way to make people laugh. But as I've told you guys before, my son nixed that, said, keep it serious, Mom. So we're not going to do that. So we're running on schedule pretty well. But now I want to introduce a friend and colleague and Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion, Clinton Normore. And we asked him to come and say a few words this evening as well. Clinton.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Birch. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for leading such a fantastic school. Thank you to the faculty and staff for the tremendous work and efforts you have. Thank you to our students for choosing ATSU. Thank you to our alumni for carrying forward the work that you've chosen to espouse yourself in. At ATSU, diversity means more than hue. We believe that so intently that we practice it. ASHS is the epitome of that idea. I look around, and if you, one thing I must say, that just viewing that video and listening to the history and the encouragement here, I can't think of any other word but wow. And if you're not wowed by this experience, then I just don't know. Diversity is emblematic of all that is different. The ASHS, the mission statement of the university, espouses diversity. ASHS statement states, ATSU ASHS goal on diversity is to foster an atmosphere of awareness and acceptance that embraces diverse backgrounds, philosophies, and lifestyles, including underrepresented groups. We hope to help our students learn about the different cultures in society, understand that diversity, and actively seek to work with clients from varied cultures and backgrounds. And that is the essence of what diversity is and should be all across this world. But you here at ASHS practice that on a daily basis. It's embedded in the culture of ASHS. I look around at the data and I see the global diversity that's represented. I see the diverse in cultural heritage, the diverse in gender. I see the diverse along the lines with regard to leadership. And I think that it's so powerful that it's powerful to not only say you're a diverse organization, but it's much more powerful to actually practice that. And that's the essence of cultural proficiency as well. As you might know, ATSU has won the HEAT Award 4 years in a row. And the HEAT Award is a significant application that requires a tremendous amount of metrics to discern whether or not your university is predicated on the ideals of what diversity means. The application process takes several days to complete and several months to review by professionals all across the globe. Not only have we won that the first year, we've won that 4 years in a row. And the reason that we've won that is based on what you've just heard today from our ASHS schools and disciplines. So thank you for leading with regard to what our diversity emphasis, and thank you for allowing me to be part of that journey. Thank you to our senior leadership for investing in this work and onward and upward. I hope to be around 25 years from now, but as Dr. Phelps said, who knows? I'm a little old also. So thank you. I applaud you. Congratulations on 25 years. I look forward to seeing the next 25.
Thank you so much, Clinton. And now we're going a little over, but some of our faculty and staff wanted to toast and give their own memories of the school and why it means, what it means to them. And so we're going to start with a few faculty who have been in touch with me and staff, and then we'll open it up to just anybody who would like to say a few words. So first we'll start with our list, and Dr. Bart Anderson, professor in athletic training, is going to start us off.
Thank you, Dr. Birch, for the opportunity to share some thoughts about ATSU and ASHS. And I just want to say how excited I am to see all of the familiar faces. Many of you who, I run into regularly in the hallways, haven't seen you in quite a while, and especially a big hi to Jackie. Hi, Jackie. When I was asked to share some thoughts, I was immediately drawn to the principles of mind, body, and spirit. And really how the university, and especially ASHS, has always provided exactly what I needed at any specific moment in my life, regardless of where I was in my athletic training career. I started my journey with ATSU in 2001 as a residential post-professional master's student in the sports healthcare program. And although I know I'm not the only current faculty member to also be an alum, I believe I'm probably in a relatively small group of current faculty who were students and who got to attend classes at both the Grand Canyon University campus and the Mesa campus. And at that time, what I needed was the opportunity to expand and deepen my clinical knowledge and to raise the level of sophistication of my athletic training practice. ATSU and the ASHS Sports Healthcare program provided that opportunity through a rigorous curriculum, very dedicated faculty mentors, and robust clinical experiences. And aligned with our mission, the program instilled in me the dedication to lifelong learning, whole person healthcare, and a commitment to the underserved. As a student, ATSU and ASHS provided me with the skills to become an exemplary clinician. For the next several years, my journey with ATSU and ASHS continued as an alum. As I left Arizona and returned to Southwest Missouri to work in the outpatient sports medicine world, what I needed then was a professional network of mentors who I could continue to rely on as I developed my own clinical practice and continued advancement of my degree. And ATSU athletic training faculty provided exactly that, with regular encouragement, lifelong mentoring, and through continued enhancement of the AT program's national leadership and reputation, in turn enhancing my own degree. And it was with these continued connections that eventually led me to return to ATSU in 2008 as a faculty member. As a clinician turned new faculty member, what I most needed then was guidance, patience, and opportunity to learn the ins and outs of academia, how to balance scholarship, service, and teaching, how to engage students in the classroom, and how to give back to the university and my students the same mentorship and guidance that I had received. In the last 20 years, ATSU and ASHS have provided for me whatever it was that I needed in my professional and personal life. And now as a faculty member, I get to help ATSU and ASHS provide exactly what my students need throughout the different parts of their life, whether that's as prospective students looking at the admissions process, as current students going through our classes and clinical experiences, or as part of our alumni family. And I'm truly thankful for all of the opportunities that I've been given.
Thank you so much for those wonderful words, Dr. Anderson. And now I have on my list, and I might be going out of order, but Dr. Zareen Mehta would like to say a few words from audiology.
Thank you, Dr. Birch, senior administration, faculty, staff, and chairs, and students who are here. I'm missing all of you on the campus, in the hallways, and waving hi. So it's really nice to see all of you here today. I have been here now at ATSU and ASHS for a little over 7 years. And professionally, I'm stuck in this weird time warp where every university I've been there for only 8 years. And so I'm nearing that mark here, but I hope that won't happen at ATSU because I feel very much at home here. I feel I found a home and I don't want to leave. So I'm hoping whatever that curse or blessing, whatever it is, stops. I wanted to share some things with you today, just my impression, big picture of ASHS and ATSU. The great Walt Disney said, "Whatever you do, do it well." I think that quote truly describes the attitude of the faculty and staff here at ASHS. I was thinking about the thousands of professionals in its 25-year history that ASHS has collectively graduated. And then I thought about the hundreds of thousands of lives those professionals have touched. And then I thought, wow, I am so proud and so humbled to be part of this institution. ASHS, here's to 25 more years of amazing years of doing what you do well. Thank you so much for making me part of your family.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta. And now Dr. Bert Simon would like to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. When I first joined ASHS in 2005, I wasn't really sure what to expect. Coming to a new school, a new organization can be very anxiety provoking, but that change in anxiety was really ill-founded. Everyone at the school was so kind. The atmosphere was amazingly relaxed and very collegial. I think the phrase that characterizes the people of ASHS is that they're people of good heart. ASHS is an organization that lives by its mission. And service to the underserved is a thread that lives in all aspects of ASHS. One only has to spend a few minutes with Dr. Cloud to be inoculated with the excitement of serving those that are less fortunate. ASHS gave me that opportunity to make meaningful change for others by working with the wonderful and amazing colleagues I have in the PA department who live that mission to the underserved. Finally, ASHS is innovation. We're encouraged not to be constrained by how things have been done, but to think how to do them better. Dr. Wendell is a constant voice that nudges us along in ASHS to be creative and imaginative in our approach to education. And I appreciate that. So I am very happy and feel very blessed to be, hopefully to continue to be part of ASHS. And I thank you very much for that opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Simon. And now Dr. Bernard Murati from Occupational Therapy wanted to say a few words.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Birch. And I'm going to echo the words of the few speakers who came before me. Because I also, it's my third year that I'm just beginning now. I was hired in 2018. I can say I feel very, very at home when I come to campus. And by the way, it is very unfortunate that we are doing this online. I love to be there to see people and to, say hi and see the smiles, and that has been robbed of me from this COVID problem. But I'm very grateful for the kind of people that you are. When I walk the hallways and meet you and talk to you, I feel that sense of family, and I really, really appreciate that. The other thing I really I'm grateful for is the leadership we have. For those who are looking for opportunities to grow in teaching and learning and doing research, to me, this has been a family where I get the support that I need, and I appreciate those of you in leadership who have helped out in supporting us. Another thing that I'm very grateful for is, for the first time in my life, having two students email me and say they graduated this year, they finished their program, they were hired. Now they are saying, thank you for the hard work that you did and for the rigor that you put into the program. The classes that I taught, they said, helped them prepare for the board exams. And that to me was the most exciting part of this whole journey. Having students come back and say, thank you, and we appreciate the hard work that you put. That really, I think, because the most important thing after all is having the students feel ready to meet the challenge in the community, because that's what we are here for, getting them ready so they can serve others. So I feel I'm doing what I'm, wanting to do. I feel the support, I feel the sense of family, and I'm very grateful to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Murati. And we just have a few other people who would like to say a few words, and I know we're going over, so if you have little kids and you need to, get them some dinner or whatever, or put them to bed, or, we understand. But I wanted to give everybody a chance. So Dr. Tessa Tibbin, are you there, and would you like to say a few words?
I'm here. Thank you, Dr. Hanley. I was wondering, I thought, oh, she's going to throw me a curveball. First, I thought I was after this one. No, oh, now and maybe this one. Oh, thank you so much. I'll keep it short and sweet because I know it's probably been a long day for everybody. So I'm in the PA department for those who may not know. My journey with ASHS started in 2005 when I was walking up that front middle pathway to the building there for my interview. And shoes one size too big. I had, like many applicants, I had a malfunction with my wardrobe. I had to borrow my roommate's shoes. They were one size too big, and I thought this will be no problem. And I think I spent the better part of my interview hoping I didn't trip and fall and embarrass myself, but perhaps that allowed me to be a little less nervous. I was interviewed with Dr. Simon. I remember talking about the housing market at that time and the craziness of it, and Sheree Fisk that I see on as well, interviewed with her. So it's incredible to think about coming back full circle to a university that helped launch me, into a career. I'm certainly very passionate about our mission and live that out to the best of my ability. My clinical work is with an organization here locally that provides healthcare for our homeless here in the city. I'm very passionate about refugees. I can't say much that hasn't already been said. Humility, humbleness, leadership. I've had the great honor of standing on the shoulder of so many giants. Dr. DeBase, she certainly is a great mentor. She was one of my professors, when I was a student. I've had fun, just kind of normal times with folks. Dr. Wendell came to an event we were holding for some refugees, a kickball picnic, and hung out and saw what it was about. Dr. Kim Perry, who works with Dr. Cloud, I sung karaoke with her at a national conference. So you get to kind of have the full spectrum here with this family. I'm very grateful. Dr. Danielson mentioned hiring the best and the brightest, and while I strive to be that, I don't know that I can specifically say I'm quite there, but I definitely bring heart, and I look forward to students coming and being in my position later and having their full circle moments. So thank you. So cheers to ASHS and all your hard work.
Thank you so much, Tessa. And Dr. Hodges wanted to say a few words. Dr. Sherry Hodges.
Hello, I just want to say hello to everybody and cheers. I'm very proud to have been around since the very beginning. And the most proud aspect of being part of this organization that I have is associated with every single person puts first the students and the patients that they will serve. And that has always been the case for 25 years, and I am confident it'll be the case moving forward. And so I'm most grateful about that and most proud for that. And thank you, and cheers to ASHS.
Thank you so much, Sherry. A few more people wanted to speak tonight, and Cecilia, Dr. Sartar Glittenberg is here this evening, and she would like to say a few words.
Well, hello. Most of you know that I've been with the physical therapy department for 24 years. And over that time, I've seen a lot of growth, and I have a lot of good memories of students, faculty, and staff. Some of my most vivid memories are from when we were in the old building, and we used to do things like go out to lunch at a local Vietnamese restaurant. And of course, after ASHS had grown so much, the physical therapy faculty moved their offices into trailers in the back of the building. And Ellen brought in her flamingos to help decorate the property. And then we eventually moved to the new building. And over the years, we've lost a few great faculty, but we've gained many more exceptional, great faculty and staff. And I wish ASHS many more years of positive growth and change. So cheers.
Thank you, Cecilia. And we'll end now with, before just letting all the mics open and people say what they would like to say. Terry Rory wanted to say a few words. And if you all know Terry, she works within the audiology department. Terry is probably one of the hardest workers I've ever seen around ASHS. She's everywhere. She's always helping other departments. She's fundraising, she's doing drives, she's with the students. So Terry, we want to hear from you.
Hi, thank you, Anley. So I came here about 10 years ago. This was the first real job that I had after being a stay-at-home mom. So I was thankful to be given that chance. I'm lucky that I am in a department that's surrounded, I'm surrounded by great coworkers who help me daily, and they teach me daily, I grow daily, and I'm lucky to learn from them. I have tons of friends that I've made on the campus that I miss seeing all the time because we can't be there. So it is kind of fun when I am on campus and I get to see some people. It's nice, like feels like the good old days. Most of my memories come from planning the events on campus. Usually like Founders Day, the holiday party, which is usually one of my favorite things to do every year, to go shopping for the kids. And then, for the presents for all the employees and drawing the names. It's sad that we don't get to do that this year. We were able to get the Christmas tree up, so hopefully those of you that are on campus, you get to see that. So I'm happy we got to do something that's normal-ish. I've been provided with a lot of opportunities here at the university, with leadership opportunities to grow, and I would not be able to do that if it wasn't for Tabitha, who allows me to sit on committees and participate in these things. So I'm very appreciative of that. I miss the graduation ceremonies, and hopefully we get to be back to normal soon. So it's great to work with the students and get to see them graduate. It's kind of like your kids leaving each time. So that's really nice. So I'm just happy that I get to work with everybody that I work with, and that I'm in the department that I am, and I'm thankful that I'm here at the school. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry, for being a part of our ASHS community. And I see some people are starting to leave. I do want to formally say thank you again to our leadership for attending tonight. I also saw Dr. Trombley, the Dean of ASDO, was on tonight saying a few words. And I think that some of our department leaders that are so essential to what we do in admissions and C&M and the registrar's enrollment services also wanted to come out tonight and support us. So I wanted to say thank you for coming. And we definitely feel your support as a school. So I think what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna stay on for a little while and we'll open up the mics. Dean Mag will do that, and anybody who wants to contribute a toast or testimonial will stay on a little bit longer, but I don't want to keep you if you have to go. So, so thank you for coming for those of you that need to go.